Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember. Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Well, hello, let me put on my chat widget. I am sure the title of this thing came up super weird because I had a scheduled stream and my hair is a freaking mess. And as you can tell, I repinked it. I had a scheduled stream and we've had internet problems here, which you guys know. And the stream crapped out like right when I first started it because I was messing with my Ethernet connection. So I'm sure this is some weird saved title, but it's a history show. I'm sure it didn't stream out with the right title. I'll fix it after the fact, but we're doing a history show. Tomorrow, knock on my real wood 1898 desk I have here. Tomorrow we will be doing an LNC update. Got quite a few things to talk about. Affiliation is tyranny. Okay. But before we do, along the bottom is my patron information. If you enjoy this kind of content, I would truly appreciate you becoming a patron. I just got a new patron. Thank you, Roman. The other day, I haven't been able to update my closing screen yet, so you will not yet see your name. You'll see it tomorrow. With all the internet connections and everything that got so piled up, I just didn't have time to create a new closing credit screen. Also, I wanted to tell you, you guys know I've been promoting... Whoa, the green screen thing's still up. I've been promoting Sean Dempsey's book, The Tale of Two Brothers. He's got a new children's book out. That promo will be on tomorrow's show as well. But for today, remember our old sponsor here, Zach from Asteros.com, Asteros. They are a cybersecurity service company. So if you have an online business or organization, and listen, I know all about security weaknesses now. Part of the problem wasn't just getting our cable up. The Wi-Fi password just got jacked up. Poor Wayne has been on the phone. Like, he was in a level of Dante's Inferno talking with Comcast. But it really, like, brought to mind again the importance of passwords and your security and all of that. But if you're interested in that and you want to see where your online business or organization could be weak, please take advantage of the free surface penetration level audit that Asteros can do for you at asteros.com/free. And Bunchy does know security weaknesses. This is what Bunchy has to say about your Wi-Fi password. Okay, don't be that. Asteros will cure you of that. And by the way, while I'm doing this promo here, my top patrons do get advertisement on the show. That is part of the benefit. It won't be every show because people get tired of hearing it, but it will be enough to make it worth it for you. So that is something for you to consider. But thank you, Zach. You've been a long-time sponsor. Please take advantage of that offer, asteros.com/free. Okay, we're going to get right into history because it's been a couple days since I've streamed and I feel like I've been gone forever. One day was because no internet. The next day, the password wasn't working. Plus, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but I met with some people from New Mexico who are looking to affiliate. So we will be starting fresh with a clean slate in New Mexico. And though, God, it killed me to vote on a disaffiliation motion. That's not something I ever wanted to do. If we're going to be honest with each other, New Mexico hasn't been functional since 2017. And it's super exciting that the future is bright for having a functional New Mexico affiliate. So I'll give you more news on that tomorrow. This isn't what this show is about. This is history. And I've got to find, I haven't pulled it out of the package yet. I was saving that for you guys. It's something that I had found on eBay, which I do every once in a while. I invest some of my own money, and then I donate what I buy to the party's historical preservation effort. And it has to be something special, something I haven't seen or I don't think I'm going to end up getting. And I had never seen this before. Oh, God, I hate when they... Okay, it's coming out. It's a Harry Brown sign. It's the same as the bumper sticker, but I've never seen it in sign. It's almost like a yard sign that, like, I don't know if they did yard signs differently then, where they were floppy and they put them in a frame, but this is yard sign. I might actually do some kind of frame for this and put this on the wall. That would be great for the history show, wouldn't it? I mean, I bought this with my own money, so I could do what I want with it. It doesn't belong to the party, but it's like two pieces of cardboard that are like stuck together, but it's folded on top. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. This was really unusual. I wonder what happened. Somebody called that 1-800 number. I wonder what it is now. But anyway, I think, yeah, this is, I'm pretty sure it's from the 2000 campaign, which is why it ends, 7/7/2000. So it's the 2000 campaign. So this is a nice historical find. I'm sure I can find some kind of frame for it. And yeah, so that's nice. Let's put that down. Got my mimosa. Alrighty. So I already did the grifting for the Patreon. Also, all super chats matter. And an update on my campaign for town council. I've hit the $1,150 fundraising mark. I've paid for my literature so far, my yard signs. Everything that gets donated now is going towards a mass mailing out to the voters. however many pieces of literature I'm able to mail. I'm going to spend every single dime. So that is Karen for Castle Rock, the number 4, and it's CARYN.com. Please consider contributing to my campaign. Okay, we're going to get right into the history now, because I've got a lot to do after this, and I've got job stuff to do too. I've got to prepare a notice of appeal tonight. So busy, and I've been working my tail off on Elpedia. Okay. All right, so let me go to where we have LP News up, which means, unfortunately, the chat widget won't be on the screen, but I still do see your chat comments. So we're going over here. Here we go. Hey, Bunchy got bigger and moved over to the other side. State parties field candidates. This is what we are covering for today. We've been doing about a page at a time because these LP News issues, they're large and in charge. So first up, Alaska. Remember, we are in September, October 1974. Party organizers have spent a great deal of time at fair booths around the state. Response to Libertarian leaflets was reportedly very good. The LP was presented at the political flea market. You ever heard of a political flea market? Sponsored by the League of Women Voters, when the League of Women Voters used to be good and care about third-party candidates. And at the state fairs in Palmer. What's that say? Oh, and near Fairbanks. Yeah, my eyes are getting so bad I need new glasses. Paul Baird's write-in campaign for U.S. House of Representatives has as its main issue the Liberty Amendment to repeal the income tax. He has called for the repeal of laws that permit the U.S. government to control Alaskan lands, fisheries, and finances, restoring control over these matters to Alaska. Baird has come out for tax credits for people who educate their children in private schools. He has tied this policy proposal to the common burden on Alaska's public schools as pipeline workers bring their families to the state for a few years. And then it gives an address for donations. Woof, my eyes are getting bad. Maybe they'll get better with a few more sips of mimosa. Can't hurt, right, Bunchy? Right. I need your smile. Is Bunchy like the image copyrighted anywhere? We definitely need some Bunchy t-shirts. We need a pink Bunchy. We need Bunchy's girlfriend on t-shirts. I need to put some new merch up on my store. It's been a while. I had a lot of great merch for the convention. I just haven't done anything new. I've got a lot of good ideas. I've just been so busy. And of course, anytime you guys have ideas, send art, and I'll certainly consider sticking it on the store. All right, Arizona. New LP officers were elected at a recent state convention. They are Mike Thompson, chair, Arita Johnson, treasurer, and James T. Kirk, not the captain of the Enterprise. I am so glad they cleared that up, as secretary. National Chairman Ed Crane spoke at an LP conference in Phoenix on October 19th. That's a good mimosa, if I don't say so myself. Alrighty. Oh, and I'll be out knocking doors, kissing babies, and distributing literature this weekend for my campaign. The gubernatorial campaign of John Hospers has received an encouraging amount of publicity. Oh, I'm sorry. I put something on the wrong page on Elpedia about an hour ago. There was a campaign video from John Hospers from 74, and I stuck it on his presidential campaign page, and I should have put it on his gubernatorial. So if you want to hear, we had an old cassette copy of a speech John Hospers gave. Now, the quality is super bad, but you can hear it. It's on Elpedia. But I need to move it to the governor page. has been traveling extensively up and down the state. In addition, a Libertarian ballot argument against a Southern California Rapid Transit District tax rate increase will appear in the sample ballots of 4 counties. The campaign of William White for U.S. Senator is invading. It's invading, I tell you, the hidden recesses of the nation's most populous state. Senatorial candidate Bill White visited the Antelope Valley in the Mojave Desert of Southern California, September 21st through 23rd. In the towns of Lancaster and Palmdale, he was interviewed by the Antelope Valley Press and the Ledger Gazette. I should look to see if I can find any of these articles on newspapers.com. Your sponsorship of this show does buy a newspapers.com subscription for me to do this kind of research. White went to Santa Barbara, September 24th, where the news press. That is interesting. The news press is still around. I don't know if you have it in your state, but we have it in Colorado. It's like a local community newspaper that's in various communities around the country. I don't know if this is the same news press, but I'm assuming it is because it existed from the 60s in Colorado. That's where I did the research on Heritage Park that I ranted about on an earlier issue. So that's interesting. Where the news press featured White in an article on the front page of its second edition. I want to look to see if I can find this, because those more local like magazines, newspapers, can be so much better. The fairest article we've gotten on the Reno Reset, not the biased crap that you've seen, and there's a new one today that I'll be doing a show on because, I feel, I'm not saying this just to be, sarcastic or a smart ass. I genuinely, am just starting to really pity Will McVeigh, Chris Lucchini, all of these people who their whole identity in 15 minutes of fame are in being losers. Get a hobby. As I said, Michael Heiss isn't going to sleep with you. Stop. Just stop already. He's straight. Okay. He was also interviewed by Santa Barbara area radio stations, and there's some call letters. His taped interview was shown on the 11 a.m. news. The September 30th Candidates Forum, I'll be doing Candidates Forum next week, at Los Angeles Harbor College in Palos Verdes, was a debate between representatives of the American Independent Party, the Socialist Workers' Party, and the LP. White said that he seemed middle of the road to his audience because he shared some positions of both opponents. In early October, White was interviewed by the San Jose State Spartan Daily, I am Spartacus, on a trip to the Auburn area. He was interviewed by the Auburn Journal, the Loomis News, and the Roseville Tribune. He also spoke to a Sierra College political science class and addressed the Meadow Vista Lions Club. In the Sonora area, White was interviewed by the Sonora Daily Union Democrat and the Twain Hart News. At Columbia College, he talked to a political science class, met with the faculty, and was interviewed by a student newspaper. He's been a busy beaver. The LPC, which is short for Libertarian Party of California, is divided into 20 regions throughout the state, and activity has been going on in virtually all of them. The San Fernando Valley Group has put together an excellent material kit on the LP for local libraries. The response to the kits has been good, and they are now on display in dozens of libraries in Southern California. I'm going to tell you something funny when I saw a library. So I knocked on this door. It was a Libertarian, because I door knocked the Libertarians first. And let me turn off this heater. I keep forgetting to do that. And now the hum, my sound's probably a lot better. So I door knocked on this Libertarian, and Libertarians are funny. And I mean this with love. They're very suspicious. It's hard to get them to answer the door to begin with because they think you're a government agent. But generally, it's the women that are a lot more friendly. So when it's a woman Libertarian on the list, I know I'm probably not going to get greeted with a shotgun. So I knock on the door. She comes out. And then, I explain who I am. I'm running for town council, and I see this look go over her face, and then she's like, oh, at first I thought you said you were a librarian. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, the librarians must be really hard up for volunteers if they're going door to door. And that was just hilarious. So yeah, as I'm door knocking the libertarians in my district, I'm like, I'm bound to determine to meet all 162 of you. There's actually 164 libertarians in my district, but 2 of them are Wayne and me. So I want to meet the other 162. We're some rare unicorns, my friends. Alrighty. But that made my day. I don't answer my door, Ty, so I get it that but I did that before I was a libertarian. When I was divorced from my first husband, and living alone for a while, you just, in Florida, in South Florida, like home invasion territory, you just don't open your door. I never opened my door. But I didn't do that even when I was married. We really liked the house we were in. It was a weird setup because there were no front windows. There were no windows in the front of the house in the living room, so no one could see if you were walking around and just not answering the door. You didn't have to do that. Dive to the ground. Don't let them see you. Okay. So I'd say there's probably about a 25% door answer rate out of trying to door knock these libertarians. I'm going to be sending them all handwritten postcards this weekend. You guys know from my convention delegate mailers, I'm like the queen of handwritten notes. I always think that makes a big difference. Recent radio appearances on the Jim Eason show. Oh, wait, hold on. We did where's the libraries? Okay, that's where we were at. And Santa Clara, author Tony Sutton sponsored an open house for libertarians in the region. Over 75 people attended, half of the libertarians that we have in District 5. Down in Orange County, the monthly regional meeting featured an address by Hank Hohenstein, author of The IRS Conspiracy. Recent radio appearances, I thought I was going to say interviews, but on the Jim Eason show in San Francisco by John Hosper's Roger McBride and Ed Crane have resulted in hundreds of Bay Area residents writing into the LP for information. The San Francisco region should benefit greatly from this exposure and is scheduled to have a fundraising cocktail party for senatorial candidate Bill White at the home of Chairwoman Carol Cunningham on October 26. In Ventura County, Libertarian Bill Stanley has announced his candidacy for the board of directors in the local Recreation and Park District. In San Diego, Sarah Beese continues to generate publicity for the LP through the activities of the Libertarian Alternative Organization in that city. The LPC is co-plaintiff in the highly publicized Codell suit, challenging the onerous California State Elections Code. A decision in the case has been postponed until early 1975. The next convention of the LPC will be held in Santa Monica in February. So to answer Tyler's questions, I do not bring membership forms because my primary purpose is my campaign, but I do bring invitations, an invitation postcard to the Douglas County Libertarian Party meetings. If they come to a meeting, then they'll get asked for a membership form. It's hard enough to get libertarians to talk to you. If I get enough time to tell them about my candidacy, if I have extra time, I then handed out literature for the candidacy of the Douglas County Sheriff candidate, the libertarian that's running for that. And that's usually all the time you have for. Colorado. There's good news and bad news out of Colorado. Uh-oh. John James, the Libertarian candidate for Congress from the Denver area. He's the guy who designed the tan staffel logo, by the way, has withdrawn from the race, citing the high costs involved in running an educational campaign. Another Libertarian, however, is running for the State House of Rep, Ernest Carlson, a national LP member. His platform to abolish blackmail government, the practice of exchanging state funds for cooperation. And that's just the way it is now. Carlson is Secretary-Treasurer of Constitutional Government Associates. Connecticut, where I was born. East Winds, the Connecticut LP newsletter. I haven't heard of that yet. Reports our formative year is over. Now we just grow. They have formally applied for membership in the National LP. Recent activities have included a fair booth and organizing for libertarian speakers in the New England area. Check this out, Florida. The Libertarian Party of South Florida, which seemed to have been very active, has set up a traveling bookstore and is forming a speakers bureau. Recent Miami area speakers have included Harry Brown and Peter Bregan of the Center for the Study of Psychiatry. Jim Toole is the newly elected Florida LP chairman. Georgia. Libertarians in Georgia are continuing their libertarian educational program, a means of distributing information to those unfamiliar with the party and its goals. On the campaign front, Ken Trubow, a libertarian, won the Republican nomination to the state legislature from Glynn County, and state LP chairman J. Ralph Compton has announced his write-in candidacy for governor, stating that both his Republican and Democrat opponents represent big government. What's new? It's time for a mimosa break. I've done a lot of reading. And the mimosa's not nearly strong enough. So I brought my very fine champagne, Andre. Not a sponsor. Okay, sock it to me, Andre. Okay. I'm trying to get this so that the fizzy stays in there. You don't want flat champagne. I'm still hungry, by the way. Wayne ate all the shrimp. I might need to make some White Castles. Come on now, get on there. Here we go. All right. Back to business. Hawaii. The lively state LP newsletter, free, presents a number of original articles on current issues. The newsletters, I can't even read that. And where is JJ? JJ's usually here for my streams. JJ's not here. How can we do this without JJ? Somebody go grab him. Mencanesque flavor? What the heck is Mencanesque? What does that mean?
That's what she said.
What does that mean? Oh, we haven't had this in a while.
Objection, speculative.
I agree, Mr. Fishy Man. Okay, back to Mencanesque flavor. Can be spotted even in its headlines. For example, Moral Cretins, YAF and Amnesty. A recent state LP program featured David Berglund, Libertarian candidate for Attorney General in California. Oh, yeah, this continues all the way to page 5. We're not doing 2 pages of this because this will be too long, and I'm trying to keep these shows at around a half hour because there's a whole other page. That will be our next LP show, which history show, which probably won't be till next week. Because remember, tomorrow is an LNC update. The party in this state, this is Illinois, claims 70 members, all working on projects like gathering signatures for a mayoral candidate in Chicago, taking on the Department of Housing and Urban Development in DuPage County, and developing libertarian articles of incorporation for a heretofore unincorporated section of Jackson County. They also form the Committee for Responsible Individualism on the University of Chicago campus. Tyler, that would be a question for Kara Schultz. That's kind of her job. But she counts on state affiliates to send her information as well. Indiana. A party is born, states the first issue of the Indiana LP News. At a July 14th convention in Indianapolis, officers were elected and the new party was formed. 23 are charter members with big plans and lots of enthusiasm, according to Chairman Paul Hyatt. By the way, with the New Mexico reaffiliation, well, reaffiliation is not even the right word, it's chartering a new affiliate. You have the chance, if you live in New Mexico, to be a founding member of the newly formed New Mexico affiliate. Become a National Party member to be assured that you have voting rights at that convention. You do have to live in New Mexico. Okay, Kansas. The Libertarian Party of Kansas held an organizational meeting on September 15th in Topeka. Elected as chairman were Joe D. Bicking and Dale Wilson, both of Topeka, Kentucky. Libertarian Front is the Kentucky LP newsletter, which includes state and national news, articles, and fiction. There's a lot of these newsletters that have been lost to history. This is another one I've never heard of. Plans are afoot to run Libertarian candidates in next year's state elections. Louisiana candidate doings. Now here's what's funny. I don't really know campaign law that well in New Mexico. I'm sure I'm going to learn it. We're going to be having a battle, obviously, with the disaffiliated group over our trademark name, Libertarian Party. However, until that gets resolved, I think New Mexico is one of those states where the party doesn't, they have ballot access, but I think anyone can run as a libertarian, so the two parties might both have libertarian candidates. I'm not sure on that. Somebody who knows New Mexico, let me know. I'm going to have to really get up to speed on New Mexico election law. Okay, Louisiana candidate doings. Dr. Jeremy Millett is still in the race for the 7th District Congressman, but Jeff Dale, and I'm pretty sure I know him, nominee for Commissioner of Public Safety, has withdrawn from the race. Dale cited lack of support as well as unfair coverage by the news media. JJ, I was summoning you earlier. You weren't here, and you drove me to drink. It's all your fault. You're going to have to pay for my rehab. Maryland, Toward Liberty. Now, we knew about that newsletter. I don't think I've seen it yet. Do we have any issues of Toward Liberty? I want to look at that. I know I've said that name a million times on this show now. Dave Nolan was really impressed by this newsletter, but I don't think we actually have any issues of it. I think we just know it existed. So let's look up Toward Liberty on Elpedia. God, I've been spending so many hours on Elpedia these past couple weeks, I can't even tell you. Nope, we do not have copies of it. We just have an article that says Toward Liberty was a newsletter of the Libertarian Party of Maryland from at least 1973. We now know it existed in 1974 as well. Love to see a copy of that. Okay, so Toward Liberty, Maryland's LP newsletter, devoted most of its September issue to an in-depth coverage of the LP National Convention. Damn, I want to see that because I want to see if, unlike LP News, they covered the Dallas Accord in depth. Of course, it wasn't called the Dallas Accord till years later, but you know what I mean. And a report on involuntary mental hospitalization. It seems like involuntary commitment was a real huge issue in the early LP. We hardly talk about that anymore. The two topics are not connected. I don't know if you caught that. Oh my God. I gotta read that again. Let's read that sentence again. That was hilarious. They devoted most of their September issue to an in-depth coverage of the LP National Convention and a report on involuntary mental hospitalization. The two topics are not connected. Au contraire, I think they might be. sorry, I snorted. Oh, that's hilarious. I think I'm bright red now from, oh my God, that was good. That was good. I needed that laugh. Bunchy, what do you think? I agree. Oh, Massachusetts. The LP has joined with the Individual for a Rational Society in opposing the anti-obscenity statute recently passed by the state legislature. Murray Rothbard will speak on the international liquidity crisis. That guy was so prolific. On October 24th at Howard Johnson's 57 Carver Hotel in Boston. Like, when I think of how much he wrote, I just feel like a complete loser that I can't come up with one thing I want to write a week on my Substack. Like, I'm overdue for a Substack article, and I just haven't been inspired. Something will come to me. You can't force it. Minnesota. LP gubernatorial candidate Richard Kleinow says, I'm happy to report that I haven't had to go looking for a place to campaign. I've received more questionnaires to fill out and invitations to speak and debate than I can find time for. He has numerous discussions scheduled on radio and TV stations, along with many talks at tax-supported schools. We're just going to go to the other page to finish Minnesota. And then there's an address to send contributions. At the state fair, the LP sold over $750 worth of material. That's pretty good for 1974. Passers-by picked up over 10,000 position papers and other brochures, and hundreds signed up to receive more information. The new state chairman is Robin Miller. Okay, let me just mark off that we went through that. This page we're completely done with. Oh, and there's a long comment. Let me go back to this main screen here. Okay. Have a little more mimosa. And Ruston Province for Wisconsin 3rd Congressional District. Let me... I can't speak for Wisconsin. The state parties are there to support their candidates. Nationally, I can't speak to that. You will have to talk with the Wisconsin organization, but I will speak to your objection, which I'm going to distill down because you did do a very long comment and I appreciate it. It said, why be part of an organization if you're on your own anyway? Because being a member ensures in the future that your state party will be able to help others. If people continue to have the attitude, and the word attitude's the wrong thing because that sounds negative to you, and I don't mean it in that way at all. Continue to have the mindset, that's a more neutral term, that if I'm not getting something personally from it, there's no point in joining, then no one will ever get anything from it. That's just a reality of it. If you're going to carry the Libertarian banner, I really do think you need to be a member, but you have to follow your own conscience. I can't tell you what to do, but I would really encourage you to reach out to the Wisconsin organization. I know a lot of people in Wisconsin. I've been to their convention several times, and it's some great folks, but I wish you all the best on your run, and I do hope in November on a history show or another show you come back and report how you did. I don't know if you were here earlier. I'm running for town council. Colorado's a little different. I have gotten support from my state party. This will be in a financial disclosure that comes out. Again, I'm running a very, very local race, so this isn't a great deal of money, but it's about 33% of what I've raised. They donated $350 to my campaign. I've raised a total of $1,150, I think. So, that's a decent chunk, and they are going to be sending volunteers my way and allowing me use of eCanvasser. So each state party is a little bit different, but I can tell you that becoming a national member does help ballot access everywhere, and that benefit does inure to all candidates because people do ask, particularly in a, I'm like losing my thing. Oh, in a presidential year, you often get asked if you're on the ballot in all 50 states. So even though in Colorado, we don't have issues with ballot access, I still encourage people to support the national ballot access initiatives and to help fund them, because even though it doesn't directly benefit Colorado, it does indirectly benefit us because we're able to go out and say we are on the ballot in all 50 states. All right, I think that's it for this evening. I always jabber a little bit at the end to give time for any further comments or questions. I do thank you, Reston, for your comments. And that's an unusual first name. I don't think I've ever seen that name. Am I doing yard signs, Ty? Let me answer it by showing you one of my yard signs. Yes, definitely doing yard signs. Remember, I got ratted on by the Republican candidate who reported me to the town manager for violating the sign code. That's my opinion to that. Can't believe the Republican ratted me out. Not the progressive, the Republican. Shame on him. Okay, well, tomorrow we will... Ooh. Wet mouth. Tomorrow we will be doing the LNC update, so bring all your New Mexico questions to that. The ones I can answer, I will. Same thing with Virginia. I do expect an announcement from them any day for a special convention because, sorry, Holly, you didn't dissolve the party. You pathetic piece of shit for pulling something like that. Okay, that is it for this evening. I thank you guys for joining me this evening. And again, apologies to Roman that I have not yet put your name on the closing credits. Bad internet problems. We'll get to that hopefully before tomorrow's show. A lot depends upon work though, so I shouldn't promise it will be by tomorrow, but it will be soon enough. And Saturday, I think I'm gonna be doing a critique of a certain segment by Candace Owens, but I haven't really decided. I've got some things queued up that I want to critique. All right, and I appreciate it, Tyler. I hope you all have an awesome night. Now I'm gonna go upstairs and work on the notice of appeal I need to work on, and some more Alpedia. All right, bye-bye.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.